All weekend long, it's going to be in your face that Russia did it. Russia did it. Russia killed babies now. All right, we're back live. It's 3 to 5. It's actually 5 o'clock right now, but we're going to keep going. And guess who's on the phone? Alex Jones. Alex, can you hear me?
Absolutely, my friend. I've got really grave news for everybody. I could see why Trump wanted to look strong to the communist Chinese dictator that was arriving last night. I could see why Trump could believe that maybe Syria launched a chemical attack, even though the Al-Qaeda / al-Nusra ISIS rebels have been caught doing it multiple times before. I could see taking out a stockpile of supposed chemical weapons because Assad had agreed to do that 4 years ago if the U.S. military worked with the Russians to take out Al-Qaeda and ISIS so they didn't take over the country, something Hillary and Obama had been backing, as well as John McCain. But now, less than 24 hours in, what are we, about 22 hours in right now from what happened yesterday, our worst fears are coming true. The official mouthpiece of the globalists is undoubtedly CNN. MSNBC is the domestic mouthpiece, but CNN is the globalist mouthpiece internationally. Headline, did Russia try to destroy evidence? U.S. investigates a possible Russian role in chemical attack in Syria. And it just goes on and on and on, where we have U.S. warns Syria is prepared to do more. We've got the Russian warships moving in, blocking it, because, again, they've got major ties with Syria for 50 years. They're very close to Russia. They have gas pipelines coming in. I go back 4 years ago when our own military said, no, we're not backing Al-Qaeda, and basically welcomed Russia in to help them take out ISIS. And now you made the point earlier during this live broadcast that could this be a setup, how they invited Russia in, and are now basically less than 20-plus hours later going from no evidence that Syria launched a chemical attack. Looks like they blew up a chemical weapons depot that we know the ISIS people have had. We know Hillary, admittedly, that's Cy Hirsch, mainstream news. New Yorker magazine transferred those weapons to them, the rebels, not Syria, who was winning the civil war, who was pushing them out of the country into Iraq with our military's help. So they had no motive, as Ron Paul said a few days ago. But now, undoubtedly, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they're all pushing for war with Russia, which is completely insane. So our worst fears, and the fears of Paul Joseph Watson and myself and Ron Paul and Rand Paul and you and McGreen and the rest of the crew, is now coming out.
Yeah, and the liberals are all up and they're all lockstep with this narrative. Did they have were they involved? Is there any evidence? They're never going to show us any evidence, but suddenly it'll come back and it'll say, well, we're highly confident that the Russians helped. Got to bomb the Russians now, Trump. Are you going to be a pussy about that? Or are you going to do it? You going to listen to us, Trump? We were right about the other ones of the dead babies. And that's how they're going to do it, Jones. This is sickening watching this happen in real time.
Exactly, just like the dead babies, the incubators in 1990, all confirmed to be a PR firm, all confirmed mainstream news, CBS, ABC, to be fake. But they didn't tell you it was fake at the time. It took them 5 years to then it was a PR firm, a trained actress, never even been to Kuwait. And here's the Fox News headline, Russian warships steam towards U.S. destroyers that launched Syrian airstrikes, say that they will shoot down the missiles that are fired. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is how they do it. They tell Trump, you'll look strong. We'll say you're not a Russian agent if you do this. And now we don't have thermonuclear war and kill everyone on Earth. We're all Russian agents. Meanwhile, Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton, the Podesta brothers, they were all on the Russian payroll, the communist Chinese payroll. This is just so sick. And it's a bunch of egomaniac, crazy people that get off on the threat of World War III that so many analysts say is serious. So here's your headline. So I want to snip out this piece of this live transmission. I put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube with our great crew and get it out to all the great listeners because this is so critical. Syrian conflict escalating towards full-out war with Russia. Or the headline, U.S. media calls for open war. U.S. media calls for war with Russia. Syria spirals out of control. Less than 24 hours later, we were looking at every angle, not rushing to judgment, not wanting to jump on Trump about this. But I got to tell you, it's not that Trump's the problem. It's the scum that surrounds him, the mentally ill demons that have set up Al-Qaeda, set up ISIS, our own government under the Clintons, and then again under Bush, and then again under Obama, accelerating the whole Middle East being turned over to these people and the whole Arab Spring and all of it. And now they want to take out that Christian country. They want to take them out, and they want to open up Europe as a globalist plan to bring in even more Muslims and then make us submit to them, just like we saw the Stockholm attack today. This planet has Stockholm Syndrome to the New World Order, Stockholm Syndrome to the globalists, Stockholm Syndrome to the Islamicists. And the good news is the world's awakening to globalism. They may have a bunch of zombies drinking the Kool-Aid, but it's coming to an end. But I can feel the energy level. I have been crazed all day because the world is in danger. When I go to sleep tonight, I am legitimately worried about dying in my sleep when 50 megaton bombs detonate over my house. Crazy governments have gone to war, and tens of millions died per war last century. 50-something million died in World War II. And now we're sitting here again believing nuclear war is impossible when every top analyst says we're the closest to it we've ever been. And that's why I'm upset by the decadence and the left wanting war and the right wing wanting war. And then the populists that just want a future for our kids, we're called the extremists.
Yeah, and Alex, all these wars started with a false flag. Every single one of them. World War II, false flag. Vietnam War, false flag. Korean War, false flag. Right. It's all false flag. The Gulf War I, Gulf War II. It's all about deceiving the people to get them to fight with each other. And I don't know why people can't see this.
And this is not the Cold War. This is not the Soviet Union. Donald Trump said he wanted to work with the Russians to help defeat ISIS. And we're seeing a complete turnaround right now.
Now ISIS is going to get to run around scot-free.
Yeah.
And ISIS is endorsing what happened. Let me make this key point.
Yeah.
This is so important that you guys jump back in, and I'm going to get off here and you take more calls. This snippet needs to be put up right now as soon as we can.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, our InfoWars crew is overworked, working as hard as we can, trying to expand the operation in the face of the globalists, because everything you do, everything we do right now is so critical. Our government, at the highest levels, allied with radical Islam. Trump claims he wants to stop that. Trump claims he wants peace. But he's been bullied and positioned into this. And now you see it's not just one strike. They want full-out war, and they want war with Russia. This is the mental illness we're facing. So we have to get this information out to everybody. We have to point out that, again, this is not making our world safer. It's making it more unstable. And I got to say, Ron Paul, Paul Watson, everybody that came out of the gate said this was a horrible idea. I said it was a horrible idea 2 days ago before it happened. I've just tried to analyze what's happening. But bottom line, this is only turning to crap. This is unraveling so incredibly quick, and I understand it's all a big stunt to basically show off to the communist Chinese how powerful we are. But there's not going to be a planet of nuclear war with the Russians kicks off. So that's what's happening. This is escalating, and our MSM is now calling for war with Russia and trying to claim they launched chemical attacks when it's our own elite on record that started the Arab Spring and started the overthrow of Syria, just like they did the elected government of Ukraine, and they're the ones that are to blame for all of it. The New World Order, the whole 9 yards. We'll obviously have live events this weekend and right through Sunday. Everybody out there needs to spread the word, because I've gone from saying let's wait and see on this for the first 20-something hours to now seeing all the major news channels saying let's go to war with Russia. These people are insane, and they must be stopped. Back to the live crew.
All right, thank you. That was Alex Jones calling in. Wild horses can't drag him away, folks. He is legitimately concerned about what's going on. He's legitimately pissed off watching, because we know it's a bunch of BS of the Syrian attack. We know it's total horse manure that Assad bombed his people. And they're trying to now say it's the Russians. Now you got CNN, and they're going to put this out all weekend. Absolutely. All weekend long, it's going to be in your face that Russia did it. Russia did it. Russia killed babies now.
Yep.
What are you going to do about it? You going to get on the Trump train? You going to go back? You going to get on McCain and Lindsey Graham and Fareed Zakaria and everybody else that wants to go bomb Russia and have a war with Russia? That'll make everything great, won't it? Based on a lie. All based on a lie.
Today we call it bone broth, and for thousands of years our ancestors enjoyed its benefits before it became lost to our modern diets of processed junk. We are now introducing Caveman by InfoWarsLife.com, the ultimate in true paleo nutrition with bone broth, turmeric root, chaga mushroom, and 7 total primal superfoods in a single great tasting formula. Caveman. It's those people living in the wilds having to actually build civilization that are our superior ancestors, and we need to do everything we can to recapture that. Everyone knew that you used all the parts of the animal. You used the meat for sustenance, the fat for cooking, but you used the bones for strength. From the outside structure full of minerals and key cofactors to the marrow that produces the blood for the body, this is the engine of the life essence. I'm a long way from the caveman my ancestors were, but I'm sure as hell trying to get back to that essence that made us what we were, and this is a big part of it. I know you're going to want to check out Caveman Ultimate Paleo Formula for yourself at InfoWarsLife.com today.